He had conquered most of Europe. He had crowned himself emperor. Kings feared him. Armies respected him. Then he lost everything. Exiled to a tiny island, it seemed Napoleon Bonaparte's story was over. Born on the island of Corsica in 1769, Napoleon Bonaparte was not born into a royal family. Instead, he rose through the ranks of the French army during the French Revolution. His brilliant tactics and fearless leadership earned victory after victory. Before long, he became the ruler of France and one of history's greatest military commanders. Europe had never seen a general like him. Over the next decade, Napoleon defeated one coalition after another. His empire stretched across much of Europe. He introduced new laws, reorganized governments, and inspired both admiration and fear. But every victory created new enemies. Britain, Austria, Prussia, and Russia were determined to stop him. After disastrous campaigns and repeated defeats, Napoleon was forced to abdicate in 1814. He was sent into exile on the island of Elba. Most believed his career had ended, but Napoleon refused to disappear. In February 1815, he escaped the island and returned to France. As he marched toward Paris, thousands of soldiers sent to arrest him instead joined his army. The emperor had returned. Napoleon's return shocked Europe. The great powers immediately formed another coalition. British forces under the Duke of Wellington joined with the Prussian army, led by Field Marshal Blücher. Their goal was simple: defeat Napoleon before he could rebuild his empire. On June 18th, 1815, the armies met near the village of Waterloo in present-day Belgium. Heavy rain had soaked the battlefield the night before. The muddy ground slowed Napoleon's famous artillery. Still, the French launched powerful attacks against the Allied lines. The battle lasted for hours. As the fighting continued, Napoleon hoped to destroy Wellington's army before reinforcements arrived. But in the afternoon, the Prussian army reached the battlefield. Fresh troops poured into the fight. The French army suddenly faced enemies from multiple directions. The balance of the battle changed forever. Napoleon launched one last desperate attack with his Imperial Guard. For years they had never been defeated, but this time was different. The Allied line held. The Imperial Guard retreated. When French soldiers saw the Guard falling back, panic spread through the army. The battle was lost. So was Napoleon's empire. After Waterloo, Napoleon surrendered once again. This time, there would be no escape. He was sent to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. There, far from Europe, he spent the final years of his life. The man who had once ruled much of Europe would never return. Napoleon's military genius continues to be studied by historians and military academies around the world. His victories transformed Europe. His legal reforms influenced many modern nations. And although Waterloo ended his empire, it did not end his legacy. More than 2 centuries later, Napoleon remains one of history's most famous and controversial leaders.